Hi guys, it's Siobhan here and welcome to another video. So China has recently opened up their borders. What does that mean for you, the person that wants to come here and teach English, experience the culture, travel throughout China? And today I'm going to discuss the process, part of the process to coming here, and what does this mean in the modern day post-coronavirus era. How do we navigate this? Let's get to it. So first of all, I want to say that the South African visa requirements to teach English in China are the same. Your visa requirements are the same. So what I want you to do, if you don't know what you need, what documentation you need to teach English in China, please check out my video down below, how to teach English. How to apply for a English teaching visa in China. So check that video out first before you come and check out this video, because that video will tell you the documentation you need and whether you qualify for entering China in the first place to teach English. The second thing is to apply for a teaching job, and I've also made a video on that. So once again, check out my video on how to apply for a teaching job. So now we're going to talk about how to come to China. What are the costs involved in this post-pandemic era, or with the pandemic ongoing as it is? So the first thing you guys need to know is that you would need to have the Chinese vaccination. If you've already got a COVID vaccination, you would still need to get a Chinese vaccination on top of that. So there are two vaccinations that are approved by the Chinese government, which is the Sinovac vaccination and the Sinopharm vaccination. And you would need to get either one of those in order to come here. That's the first thing. The next thing you would need to do is, and this video is mainly for South Africans, so the next thing you would need to do is spend 4 nights of quarantine in Johannesburg Empress Palace, and that would come to about 10,000 rand. So these costs are not, some of these costs are not covered by the school, and I get the feeling that the cost of quarantine before you enter your city is not covered by the school. So the 4 nights in Empress Palace for 10,000 rand will be at your own cost. Once you finish the quarantine in Empress Palace, or should I say the pre-quarantine, your next step would be to take a flight. Now, flights out of China are quite cheap. They're quite reasonably priced. However, if you're looking to fly into China, this is where the prices of flights get really high. So a flight into China will cost you about 18,500 RMB to 19,000 RMB, which works out to about 42,000 rand for a one-way flight into China. So you're going to need, you're going to need your quarantine cost at Empress Palace and your cost of your flight, which already comes to about 50,000 rand. Next, you would need to quarantine, and if you do get a direct flight into your city, then you would not have to do a big quarantine. I think China has been a little lenient, and they've reduced their quarantine period now to 10 days from new news. But still, to spend the night in a hotel is going to cost you about 500 RMB, and this is, maybe with food, maybe without food, but I'm going to be a little generous here and estimate that the cost of the hotel plus your food cost will come to about 500 RMB. And let's say your flight lands in Beijing, and that means you'd have to spend 2 weeks in Beijing, quarantine in Beijing, and then 1 week in the city of your choice. Let's say you you are actually going to live in Xiamen, right? You're actually going to live in Xiamen City. So then it will be 2 weeks of quarantine in Beijing plus 1 week of quarantine in Xiamen in a hotel there. So 2 weeks of hotel quarantine in Beijing, 2 weeks of hotel quarantine in Xiamen. This would come to about, if I had to estimate the cost with food and everything, this will come to about another 10 to 15,000 RMB, which you're looking about anywhere between 20 to 30,000 rand for the cost of quarantine. Then you will, let's say you finish your quarantine in Xiamen and your employer says, hey, you know what, let's look for an apartment. Now, you may have a school that provides an apartment for you, which I would think is a big benefit. If a school, especially with the amount of quarantine costs that you would have to go through, I think a school that provides an apartment is a huge benefit to you. However, sometimes a school may not provide an apartment, but rather an apartment allowance. So if I were you, I would speak to the school and ask them, hey, can you give me a loan? Can you give me a loan to rent out an apartment, to take out an apartment? Because apartment renting in China works a little differently in the fact that you would have to pay 5 months upfront rent just to secure an apartment. So when I first came to China, I had to pay 5 months upfront, and I didn't have that kind of money. So I asked my school to loan me that money, and I paid it back in installments. So you could do the same, and I'm sure that most schools would be lenient and actually give you a loan to do this. However, there are some that may not, and that may be a problem. Also, once you've you found an apartment, you've moved in, you need to take care of the next thing, which most employers will not give you a salary advance, meaning that you need to save up money for the first month of being here. And what do you need for the first month of being here? You need maybe a cost of your medicals, maybe the cost of a SIM card, definitely the cost of a SIM card, which will be at your own cost. If your apartment doesn't come equipped with, say, certain items that you may need, like pots, pans, beddings, most apartments would come equipped with pots, pans, and beddings, but sometimes you may want to, buy those things brand new. Maybe you're a little maybe you want things to be clean and brand new, and you may have to buy these things on your own. So maybe a few dishes, maybe a few bed sheets, maybe a few new clothes, maybe even necessities, I would say, maybe groceries, groceries. I think if you're coming here and you need the necessities, and there's certain things that your apartment doesn't have, and you need groceries, food, transportation to last you for at least 1 month, then I think you need a minimum of 10,000 rand to be here and survive the first month. But I think if you want to live a comfortable life, you need at least 14,000 rand, because I think having 10,000 rand will give you the bare minimum, but you're still used to certain Western comforts. When you're here, you don't know how things in China work, and so you will maybe need a little extra money as a safety net. So I would say 14 to 15,000 rand that you would need right off the bat. I forgot about housing. Generally, because I suggested you asking the school for a loan, it would be fine. I don't think we should include that cost. But let's say, for argument's sake, that your school is not giving you an apartment and not providing you a loan for housing. And in that case, you would need at least anywhere between, say, 7,500 RMB to 15,000 RMB to secure an apartment. And basically, I made a list of your total cost. You're going to see it up on the screen right now. And so these are the total costs that you would need to have a comfortable stay in your first month in China until you get your first paycheck. Now, what's my advice? I would say that most of these costs, especially if you're coming from a background where you don't have the money, most of these costs are ridiculous. And even if you do have the money, you're looking at anywhere between 77 to 132,000 rand. That's a lot of money for anybody to put up. So my suggestion is prepare your documentation in advance. Watch my video on how to apply for a visa in China. Prepare your documentation in advance. Get your documentation ready. However, do not look for a teaching job right away. Wait it out a little bit. Wait until the cost of flights decrease. Wait until the cost of quarantine decrease. And then you can come in and you can come into China far cheaper, and you would have saved some money in the meantime. That's my opinion. That's my sort of advice for anybody looking to come into China right now, because the costs are a little too expensive. However, the other alternative is if you could find a school that covers most of your cost. So you're talking a school that can cover your quarantine, cover your flights. Then I would suggest that you definitely come over right now. If you could find a school that covers those costs, go for it. Definitely come over. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helps some of you guys that are looking to come into China. The reason I make some of this content is to help you guys come in, experience China yourself. I make these videos for your information. And yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you like the video, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Ring the notification bell at the bottom so you don't miss any new videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video.